let us know that you're here. Yeah, I got it. I'm up on Facebook, live on Facebook. I see it.
Oh, okay, great.
All right. So we should probably just start talking for a few minutes. And then here's what I'll say. I'll say this, that Amy Wolf and I have been experimenting with some new technology. We think we have this figured out. Please let us know you're out there. Please send us your comments. We can see those. Amy's running the controls today. She'll be monitoring the comments and responding to comments and letting me know what is going on and who is joining in. So, like always, on every episode of Porchcast, send us your likes, send us your comments. Our show does not work unless we have you participating. So please participate.
Oh, there we are. Got it. Sorry.
Porchcast. Yeah, you got it. Always something new.
All right. Learning. Here we are.
Now you want to make sure that you mute your audio out on Facebook, right?
Yep. Hang on. Let me. I gotta mute one of these audios. There we go. All right, folks. Thank you very much for your patience while we get this all squared away. The lunatic is running the asylum, so I'm going to be trying to do as good of a job as Matt has done with reading comments, and he can't see the comments right now. So let us know you're watching if you've got any questions or anything that you would like to contribute. We will certainly get to that as we move through the show.
Move forward as we're moving forward.
Yeah. So introductions. I am Amy Wolf of Moving Forward with Amy Wolf. Matt, today's my co-host, since I'm running the show, from Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate. You are watching this on his page, obviously. Thank you for joining us, Matt. Let's get right to the big information which hit yesterday, and that is the president's orders to continue social distancing through the end of April. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I did see that notification. It came through on my news feed on my phone. I didn't get to read the article, but from what I'm understanding is that that's a nationwide stay-at-home order. I'm not sure if he was at one point talking about breaking it down into regions. It's hard to get a feel for the information that comes out of the White House. So that's why you and I are spending a lot of time doing research and trying to get people as close as we can to firsthand sources of information from business owners, from people in the community, from government organizations, from the school district. And I have a whole bunch of updates about things that are going on in the community. And I'm going to be giving out a lot of firsthand information. And we will post links to that firsthand information in the comment section after the show so people can scroll back through.
Obviously, that order or guideline, I'm not even sure if it's called an order or a mandate or what the term is, just came down last night. So I'm sure that all sorts of organizations, those that you just listed off, that schools and other service-based organizations that are providing services during this are going to be updating what is available for folks now that new order has come down.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you and I'm sure you have the same experience with Wolf Baldwin and Associates at Glocker Real Estate. After these orders come out, there's kind of a little bit of a scramble. We actually have a little bit of a delay time until we can read and understand the order. And then in the real estate world, we start to get direction and guidance from our state and national association realtors. So there's a lag time, obviously, because the order came out last night. People have to read and digest, and then more information starts coming out. So
all right. So we got
you and I are on the tip of the spear for that.
We've got Nicole and Pam and Tara. Thank you. Good morning. And Jim Holler is also on with us right now.
Jim Holler is my good buddy from Elite Pressure Washing. He does a good job on the rehab properties that I work with, and he can do a lot of good work to keep your home maintained. From my understanding, Jim Holler gave me a call the other day, or actually we messaged on Facebook Messenger, and Jim said that he can do exterior power washing and maintenance during the stay-at-home order. If that's changed, Jim, let us know so that we can keep people updated. Tara Sofeli is from the Very Best and also works for Pottstown School District. She is one of our #1 contributors to the show, keeping us updated with information from the Very Best and the school districts. Tara also has on her personal page a cooking show that she's been doing to teach people how to use things that they might already have on hand so that they don't have to keep going back to the grocery store. I watched a couple of her episodes and she's got some really good tips.
I got some other folks hopping on here. Bill Brogley, is it coffee? You will never know, maybe. Sheila Dugan is here. Deb Penrod. Sheila says she's listening while she cleans. You know, must be desperate times over there at the Dugan household with all those people, right? Cleaning away.
Right. Now, here's Bill Brogley contacted me earlier in the day. Bill Brogley is a local attorney, and he provided me with some information on how businesses can get assistance. And I'm going to talk about that once we start getting into the updates. Deb Penrod from the library posted in our neighborhood page, the Nohano Hood Peeps neighborhood page, about some updates going on in the library. I do have those for the updates as well. So thank you for everybody who's contributing to the show. I am literally beginning to fill up a notebook with all of these contacts and information. And I will give everyone who provides me information credit for doing that. And we will also continue to promote your business.
Yes, thank you. Sheila and Jean are down there at Grumpy's Hand-Carved Sandwiches. I believe they are still open for takeout, and they've been serving a lot of meals to kids, breakfast, most important meal of the day. They've been serving breakfast to local Pottstown kids that are in need, so thank you very much for that work. And as Matt mentioned, Deb Penrod has been talking about the library and what services are available there while they are shut down. So Matt, do you want to go through your stuff, or do you want me to give my little tidbits on staying?
Let's do some updates right at the top of the show so that we can give people the information that we had. It was fresh at the time period that I got it, so you might want to do a little bit of your own research after I throw some of this stuff out, and then obviously we'll be back on the air tomorrow at 11 to keep the updates flowing. But here's what I have. I'm going to go off the camera for a split second because I got to grab my notebook.
Okay.
All right.
Matt is on my side porch today. So he's on the side porch at 158 North Hanover. I am in my house sitting at my desk. So we are about as far apart as we appear on your screen, but there's a wall and a door in between us. So he's on my porch and I am literally 6 feet away, but inside of my house, and he's outside of my house. So we are being safe, but he just wanted to change up his scenery a little bit as far as which porch he was shooting from.
And because of the new technology, it's much easier for us to talk through your screen door than it was to be calling back and forth.
The screen door has a storm window in it, so it's totally fully safe.
So the one thing, there's a good piece of entertainment that I found last night. So I want to get into a little bit of entertainment before I get into the serious business. I'm a big fan of Tedeschi Trucks, which is Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks. And last night on YouTube, I found a video that I thought was pretty appropriate to the times that we're living in. So if you go to YouTube and search Tedeschi Trucks Band, you can't always get what you want. And they were playing that particular show that I saw with Widespread Panic. Nice. So we have Derek, Susan, the Tedeschi Trucks Band, Widespread Panic, playing You Can't Always Get What You Want from the Rolling Stones. Go check that out. It's good music, but the combination of the artist and the song title made me laugh in relation to the pandemic.
So the second line is you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need. So I don't know if this stay-at-home order and this pandemic is what we need, but I certainly am trying to find some silver linings. And one of the things that's been a big silver lining over here is that I have been eating my meals with my family. So that is something that doesn't happen. Harrison's home from school. So obviously, and this is the first time that he's lived at home in 3 years. So this has been a big adjustment for him, and he's been a real good sport about it. And I usually eat dinner by myself every night because my husband is going to karate over at Teller's Okinawan Karate in the wellness complex. give them a little shout out. They'll be back up and running once this is all over, but right now they're shut down, just like all gyms and exercise places. So usually I eat alone every single night. So it's been really a nice treat for me to Levi and I to cook together and to be able to eat our meals together. So that's been one silver lining over here.
Yeah, and we talked about it on some of the other shows as well. I mean, now's the time to teach your kids how to prepare a meal or do some things around the house, things that they might not necessarily be learning in school, but they can learn from you, parents and guardians, friends and neighbors. They can learn that stuff from you at home. And still get an education and learn good life skills. So
I would maybe argue that those life skills are maybe even more important.
More important. I agree with you. So since we spend a lot of time talking about food and restaurants, I'm going to lead off the updates with the Pottstown cluster. I am on the board of directors for the Pottstown cluster, and I've made a commitment to share this information on a daily basis. The Pottstown cluster is Pottstown's food bank. If you are thinking about coordinating a food drive with your business or organization, or if you want to donate money from your business and organization, I'm highly recommending that people contact the Pottstown cluster of religious communities first. Through the power of collective purchasing and through the discounts that they get there at the cluster, your donated dollars will stretch further. And they already have a system in place in the community to get that food out to people that need it. And by food, I'm talking about groceries. And then also the Pottstown cluster organizes the community meal, which rotates around to the different churches. There has been some changes to the community meal schedule. So you want to follow up with the cluster to find out about what those changes are. Now, I know that there are people who don't have phones or computers or internet access. Unfortunately, if you don't have an internet access or you don't have a phone or a computer, you're not watching this show. So if you want to get your pen and paper, and I'm going to give you information that you can share with your friends, family, or neighbors who might not be connected to the internet. So people can go down to the corner of King and Franklin Streets in the borough of Pottstown to find out about getting food assistance with groceries, or they can find out about the community meals. You can also call the Pottstown cluster at 610-970-5995, 610-970-5995. And then this is going to be a good time to also talk about, there is a program right now from Comcast, which is providing free internet access to those that qualify. And the phone number for that is 1-855-846-8376, 1-855-846-8376. That's the Comcast program for free internet access for those that qualify. And again, this information will go into the comment section below as soon as the show's over. Amy and I are going to start working on that.
All right, we got a couple new people that joined. I want to say good morning to your friend Ray Amori is on.
Ray from Adele
Brooke
Home
Martin,
Services.
thank you for joining, Brooke.
Brooke's been a regular watcher since day one, so has Ray Amori. Ray owns a company called Adele Home Services, which I'll talk a little bit about shortly. Since we're on the issue of food, and I know that the folks at the Pottstown cluster are talking to the folks at the school district, specifically Barb Willamy and Amy Francis are having some conversations about trying to get further meal assistance to students in need in the Pottstown school district. But I will say this, PottstownSchools.org. You should go to PottstownSchools.org and check your emails. And there was also a phone call that went out. There's going to be some changes in the educational programming at the Pottstown School District. Also, they're going to try to get a head count of how many kids have their Chromebooks with them at home or need to come back to the school to pick them up. Now, obviously, if you don't have internet or you don't have your Chromebook with you and you can't get on the internet, you're not going to be able to participate in that survey. But if you call the Pottstown School District and let them know what's going on, that is another way that you can get in touch. They are going to try to start switching over to educational programming this week. And again, I just gave the phone number for the free program for internet for those that qualify. Also, everybody from the school district, Amy Francis, Tara Safeli, everyone to know. Matt Moyer is another guy that contributes information to the show. He's the principal at Rupert. On this Wednesday, from 3 to 6, there's going to be breakfast and lunch available for students in the Pottstown School District. And they're going to hand those out at the 4 neighborhood schools, which are Lincoln, Franklin, Barth, and Rupert. Lincoln, Franklin, Barth, or Rupert. If you're confused about them, or if you don't know where your neighborhood school is, again, you can go to pottstownschools.org and find all these informations and updates. You can also, if you are a parent or a student in the school district, you can go and get your email and phone number registered so that you can get these updates.
Can I chime in with a couple of
Sure.
All right, so Deb Penrod says that the library is switching its main webpage address in the next couple of days. Great timing, she says. But hopefully it goes smoothly. If there's any issues with accessing online library services, just type Pottstown Library in your browser and it should take you to the new site once it migrates over. The building obviously is remained closed to follow all of the official governmental instructions. Events that they have scheduled, they had a big charity auction scheduled for May 2nd, I think that was. So I think they're still working on a revised date for that event over there at the library.
Which reminds me, I forgot to give Deb my check so I could sponsor that.
Excellent. Get that in the mail. Postal Service is still working. Get on it, man. So Brooke Martin says Comcast has offered 30-day credit on a business account. So if you're using Comcast for your business and your business is shut down, Comcast has offered a 30-day credit on their on the business account. Call customer service, blah, blah, blah. Have to ask, let me know if your business needs help with any phone or internet accounts. That's from Brooke Martin. Thank you, Brooke. And Sheila says her kids are trying to convince her that Kahlua is a morning drink. Why not?
I've had a good Irish coffee in the morning with some Kahlua and a little bit of whiskey.
Yeah, and if you're cleaning over there, Sheila, you didn't think you need a little liquid encouragement. So yeah, live it up. All rules out the window. No, not all rules out the window. Try to maintain some sort of routine.
Here's the one thing that I would say too about the Pottstown Library. We have talked on the other shows about ways people can keep themselves entertained. And we talked about audiobooks. On the e-resources section of the Pottstown Library webpage, you can also find information and access to audiobooks. You have to have a library card, but you can still access that information on their e-resources page, which includes audiobooks, and there's all kinds of virtual services that appear. And the sun is now coming out and making an appearance, and you're
gonna get hot out there in your hat. I think this is like the first time we've seen the sun on the Porchcast.
yeah, kind of is. I might have to dip off and readjust my camera angle here. So
all right, that's fine. Well, I can talk. Yeah, yes. I can talk a little bit.
All right, I'll be back.
My battery in. Hold on, folks.
Always trying something new here on Porchcast, keeping you updated with Pottstown news and events.
So I'll talk a little bit about what I wanted to talk about. If you want to shed some layers.
Yeah, I'm gonna readjust.
Right. So those that know me know that I've spent a fair amount of the last 20 years being ill and recovering from surgeries. So I have a lot of experience with being home and being bored and not going out for long time. My first hospital stay was a month long, and that was before internet even existed, really, or before it was as widespread as it is now. So I learned how to keep myself occupied during long hospital stays and long recoveries from surgery. So I would say my number one tip for staying sane and getting through a shut down and a shut in like this is to create some sort of routine. It doesn't have to be ironclad, but try to do the same thing and stick on a routine. So get up roughly at the same time every day. Try to bathe yourself every day. Like, even if it's just PTA, it's an app.
Weren't you struggling with that lately?
I showered this morning, but try to bathe yourself and brush your teeth at the same time every day. So this is what I did this when I was in the hospital every day for a month. Food service would come in with my breakfast, and then I would bathe myself, and then I would put on a clean hospital gown, and I would eat, like, just trying to maintain some sort of a regular schedule, even if it was just napping at the same time every day. But try to have meals at the same time every day. And I know Matt's been talking a lot about getting creative with meals. This is the time to really stretch it and turn on some old episodes of Chopped, and you'll see how you can get really creative with what you've got in your cabinet. So try to also put on clothing that might not have an elastic waist every day, because that will, if you put on something with a waistband, it will help keep your weight in check. And it also helps to just maintain some sort of semblance of normalcy if you're actually putting on clothes. I'm just wearing a hoodie dress today and leggings, which is still pretty comfortable. It's a step up from pajamas. So try to get dressed every day. Try to get some exercise every day, even if it's just walking around the block, walking around the block twice, taking your dog for 3 walks a day. I know that pets are really enjoying this shutdown with all of their owners home. So they're enjoying all that extra attention, but try to get out of the house and do some sort of exercise every day. Even when I was in the hospital and I was recovering from surgery, I tried to take a few laps around, once an hour, just to keep moving and keep from getting a DVT. That's my house phone ringing. I still have a house phone, if you can believe it.
Somebody's probably calling you to see if you're on Facebook Live. Hey, Amy, did
they
you
want
know
to see
you're
if
on Facebook Live?
I have an FCC license for this show. So
who knew that you would be getting fashion tips during the pandemic from Amy Wolf, right?
So my last
Fashion
tip is
tips
try
with
to tackle a project every day. So a lot of people are working from home, and you've got your own routine that you can get into if you're working from home. But if you're not working from home, you've got a lot of time on your hands. Try to tackle one project every day. Could be an hour, could be a 15-minute project, but at least then you can kind of see some progress of, like, all right, I organized my sock drawer, I cleaned out the basement, I did whatever Ray says, bath 2 times for him, so he's bathing twice a day. But just try to be productive every day, and then you can go watch your tiger show on Netflix later on, but try to at least tackle at least one.
Or you could go to the Pottstown Library and get your audiobook.
Absolutely. And you can do your audiobook while you're working on your project. You can listen and be doubly productive.
Right.
So as an aside, just to talk about the hygiene for a second, I know that a lot of you were very anxious to hear my update with my home waxing situation. So I'm going to give a...
See, this is what we were missing.
Matt was actually giving me some guidance on, like, home waxing. So that, I wish you could have all been involved in that.
I used to wax my unibrow at home.
Yeah.
But I waxed it so much that I don't even really have to do it anymore. But I did notice that it's probably time to get busy with a pair of tweezers.
Yeah. I mean, that could kill a half an hour right there. But I'm gonna give a shout out for this, if you can see it. This is the Bliss. There. Yeah, the Bliss Poetic Waxing Kit, which came highly recommended from my friend Amy Francis, who was in skincare and cosmetics for a long time. So this is available on Amazon. I think Amazon is still pretty much shipping everything they have in their warehouse. So I ordered this last week and got it. So that worked out pretty well for you, my hairy ladies. You can stay on top of things. And even though nobody's seeing you, does not mean that you need to become a hairy beast. So stay on top of the facial hair, ladies.
And
so my tips.
It's a good product. It's a good project.
It could be. So full disclosure, I did have Levi help me, because as you see, I can't see anything without my glasses. So I couldn't hear with my glasses on. So Levi is working on his esthetician's license right now, so he can continue to do my facial waxing. But I think he did a pretty good job. All right, Chris Golden is here. Hi, Chris. She
Hi,
says,
Chris.
working? Yes, us too. And Deb Penrod says, I don't know what a hoodie dress is, but I think I need one. When this is all over, Deb, I will get you a hoodie dress. No problem.
I wanted to give a shout out to Chris Golden. Chris Golden is the chief financial officer for a business called Manor of Hope, which is a supportive community for men that are struggling with addiction. And over the course of the past couple of days, Chris Golden, who has a degree in accounting, has been reviewing some of these small business loan and small business assistance programs. So she's helped me collect some of this information that we're going to talk about, along with Bill Brogley, who again is a local attorney. Bill sent me some emails with some of the information that he's collected. And now that we're getting it from multiple sources, everything seems to jive up together. So I can say with a lot of confidence that the information that we're going to give to people about how they can obtain business support through COVID-19 is very reliable information. It's been triple checked.
Right. Triple fact check. No fake news here, folks.
No fake news.
Susan Ely has joined. Hi, Susan. Susan owns the Balanced Living Nutritional Foods on Charlotte, South Charlotte Street. Susan, if you want to type in the comments there, if you are open or if you're, because you are a grocery store, if you want to give us some information, we'll share that on the show.
Yeah, she was one of the businesses that we talked about the other day, and we didn't have much information. So yes, Susan, if you can do that online, that's fine. Or if you want to try to contact myself or Amy after the show, we'd be glad to start.
That information. That's cool.
We'd be glad to start sharing information. People can contact me at 610-310-4252. 610-310-4252, or Matt Green at Glocker.com. mattgreen@glocker.com. And I'm getting tons of people contact me, so don't think that you'll be the only one. You won't. There's people are contacting me, and I'm asking people to do that so we can keep the information good. Amy, just real quick, I did want to get back into a couple of updates as they relate to the school district.
Yep.
There was some comments the other day, and there was some discussion the other day. I believe that you were part of that conversation in having parents help their kids, and they might be struggling with what's called new math or science these days. So my parents, Art and Judy Green, who have a combined total of over 60 years of experience in the educational field, came up with Khan Academy, KHAN, Khan Academy. It's a nonprofit organization that provides learning support, including math and science. There's a wide variety of topics. And I did go to the Khan Academy website, and a good portion of what they offer there is free and can be accessed virtually online. Khan Academy, free support for learning and homeschool. So when the kids are starting to be required to get back into their educational studies, you could go to Khan Academy to get some assistance. And then also, I just wanted to throw out there too, I know that there was a long list of teachers in the school district and the guidance counselors who are making themselves available at certain periods during the day to provide help and assistance to kids and parents if they need help, enrichment help, or help with their educational studies. And again, you can go to pottstownschools.org and find those contacts. But as far as schools go, the school district and Khan Academy are good resources for parents to use if they're trying to work with their kids at home and they're getting confused on new math.
A couple of questions here. Ray Amori is asking, is there anything or any information about donations for masks and gloves? So do you have any resources
No.
for that, or if people have things to donate? I think Tower Health, I know, was collecting, but I don't have any specific information about that, if people have gloves and masks to donate.
I was kind of staying away from that because there's mixed messages about the use of the mask and the glove. What I was saying to people earlier was that I saw on Facebook a lot of people who have some sewing ability or crafting ability are making cloth masks that they're either selling or giving out to their friends. And I would say this about the cloth mask. They don't provide the same level of protection as the medical masks that are being used, but the cloth mask could stop some of that aerosol spray coming out. But the cloth mask is only going to work as long as you keep it clean. If you're not washing that thing on a regular basis or daily basis, it's going to get funky, and you're not only going to possibly spread COVID-19, but any other germs and stuff that you have. So I've tried to kind of stay away from the face mask and just say if people want to use them, they can if it makes them feel better, but they really got to be careful with their hygiene practices.
Right. I'm not sure if Ray is asking about donations for masks and gloves. Are you looking, do you have some that you want to donate, Ray? I'm not sure if that's what your question is. And I think that if somebody does have masks that they want to donate, I know that a lot of dentists and orthodontic offices have been donating since they're only operating for emergency basis. And not using those things now. A lot of places like Reading Orthodontic have been, and other dentists and dental health places have been donating their gloves. So I don't know about that, but like Matt said, Google, and if you have gloves that you want to donate, you can, I'm sure, find local resources. I think Joe Cerisi also on his live videos was talking about making masks, and he might have some information on how to do that properly and where to donate them to the professionals that need them. So check out Joe Cerisi's page also.
And Joe Cerisi is a state representative who covers a portion of Pottstown. So you can find Joe Cerisi by typing in his name and then PA state rep, and his page.
CIRESI.
And then we'll post a link to his page. He's a guy that I know pretty well. I've done some work with him through Tri-County Democrats, but he's a good guy and does a lot for the community in a very, I would say, nonpartisan way.
Okay, Sheila says they've been getting gloves at the restaurant distributors, like food service gloves, and they've been donating them through the schools. So the gloves that they have, they've been donating through the school.
And I would say this too, and I did mention this on some of the other shows, if you're going to use those medical gloves or any kind of glove to try to protect yourself, do a little bit of research about how to use those gloves. There is a proper way to both put them on and take them off. And if you're not following those procedures, you can contaminate yourself and everyone else. And I'll tell a little anecdotal story that I saw the other day. I saw a lady driving her car down the road. She was wearing medical gloves in her car. That's all fine and good. But then when she came to the red light, she touched her face with the medical gloves. So if those gloves were contaminated, she's now contaminated herself. So do a little bit of research. I went to YouTube and I just typed in how to use medical gloves, and a whole list of videos came up showing people how to use them. When I was a first responder, at one point I had an EMT certification, and we spent a considerable amount of time in my first responder and EMT class learning how to take on or put on and take off gloves, because there is a right and a wrong way to do it to keep yourself safe. That's
and also if you're just walking around, the grocery store with the gloves, you still have to be careful about what you're touching then, because anything that's on the gloves you can then transfer around. So just read up on that, like Matt said, and find out how to use the gloves if it's even helpful. Ray says he's running out of masks. He's trying to find some for the emergencies that he's working on. So he's in need of masks for his emergency services that he's providing.
Right. Ray works or owns a company called Adele Home Services, plumbing and electric. And Ray can perform emergency services that allow people to keep their homes habitable so that they can follow the stay-at-home order.
Right. So if we find out any information about that, Ray, we'll certainly share it with you, where you might be able to get some masks.
I did want to also, I wanted to talk about some of the other stuff that I'm starting to see on Facebook, and it seems like this might, the conversation might have just taken a natural segue into this.
Okay.
People are starting to post up pictures of armored vehicles and tanks traveling on trains around various parts of the country. And what they're doing is saying that, this is the government response or the National Guard response, and they're going to start loading up our communities with armored trucks to enforce stay-at-home orders or curfew. That's currently not happening. I actually checked with the Department of Defense. I went onto their website and got some information and also searched some past articles. That's not true. A lot of what you're seeing is part of their normal shipments and movements of equipment around the country. One of my really good friends actually lives next door to a tank factory in York where they build these things. And it's not uncommon at all times throughout the year, every year, to see trains pulling up to unload tanks or load tanks and armored vehicles. So be careful about spreading that type of information.
Yes.
Do a little bit of research. There has been some National Guard activations because they're setting up emergency hospitals so that they can help people with this flood of folks that are going to be coming in to hospitals and emergency rooms to be treated for COVID-19. There has been some National Guard activations, and they're setting up almost like MASH, if you watch the show MASH, except with, modern equipment. So
yeah, now we're really showing our age, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, be careful about spreading that kind of stuff. There's also there's a video of a National Guard. I don't know what state. It was an armored vehicle that was driving down the road flying a Trump flag. That video is now old. That is not current video. And the unit that was responsible for that was disciplined for that because they are not supposed to be portraying political messages.
Right.
So if you see the video,
if we do see any sort of National Guard presence, it's at this point for medical setup emergency. We're not under martial law. That's not happening. Nobody's going to be enforcing things on the street if you're just walking around taking a walk with your dog. So don't panic. And like Matt keeps encouraging everyone to do your research. And before you post or share something on Facebook, for example, the video that was going around about ibuprofen and how every person who died had ibuprofen in their system. That's simply not true. That video was making the rounds, and so just do your research and listen to the CDC and Fauci and for your medical information.
Yeah. So, and we're going to post up more. We're going to post up more links to those direct sources. And yesterday, after a conversation about police, I did post a link to the PA State Police's website, so you can go directly there and get updates. I'm also going to continue to post links to the CDC and the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Disease, that's Dr. Fauci. And then I have also found that the Surgeon General of the United States, Jerome Adams, on his page is sharing a lot of good information. And I've seen him be interviewed, and I appreciate the way that he stays away from the political hot buttons and just shares factual scientific information. So we're going to continue to give people direct sources of information. And then I'm spending a little bit of time every day either verifying or debunking some of the information that's going around on Facebook.
Great. All right. Still getting used to how to deal with these comments. I know I'm not as adept as Matt is.
Yeah, it takes a little bit. So while you're doing that, while you're scrolling through the comments, what I'll do is I'll just start getting into some of the business support stuff, because I think that was one of the main items that I wanted to go over for today.
Yeah, and Bill just posted that also. That was one of the comments. State and federal loan info for small businesses. Is that what you're?
Yes.
Sharing? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have all of that stuff written down. And again, this was research that was conducted by a local attorney, Bill Brogley, and a local accountant, Chris Golden, and myself, who's a business owner, a businessman. So this is triple verified information, and you can go to the links or go onto Google and verify and find this information for yourself. I'll start right at the top of my list. the PA Industrial Development has a program called COVID-19 Working Capital Access Program. And from my understanding, that is money that you can use to keep your business running through this stay-at-home order if your business is being impacted by COVID-19. There are links on that page to applications so that you can start filling out the applications. I was told by Chris Golden, who's an accountant, that the application is somewhat complex. So if you have the ability, you might want to print it out first before you start tackling filling it out online. There's a lot of information that's required, but that's PA Industrial Development COVID-19 Working Capital Access Program. Another one that I found, and this was actually provided to me first by Jeff Frederick at Glocker Realty. He's another realtor that I work with at Glocker, and he came up with the Small Business Association. They have a program called Coronavirus COVID-19 Small Business Guidance and Loan Resources. So you can go there to the SBA site. When you go, actually, the way they have it set up now, as soon as you go to the small business website, the Small Business Administration website, the COVID information is the first thing that pops up. You don't even have to look for it. It just comes right up on their page. And again, I'll put links to that as well. And then we also have the PA Small Business Development Center. PA Small Business Development Center has small business support and business disruption assistance. Small business support and business disruption assistance from the PA Small Business Development Center. While I was doing this research, and also Bill Brogley sent me this information, PAID, Pottstown Area Industrial Development, their PAID website has links to local resources and guidance from PAID so that you can tap into some of this stuff and start educating yourself about who is eligible, how you are eligible, and how to get the support.
That's on iPick Pottstown? Is that on that iPick Pottstown page?
Yeah, if you just go to the PAID website, and I keep struggling with writing down the website, but again, we'll put links to it in the comments after the show.
Right, yeah, Bill Brogley put up the links for the working capital access loan. So thank you, Bill, for those links and the SBA link. So there's a few links there on his comment. Thank you very much for that.
And then I was contacted by Danielle Roche, who is the media manager for Tri-County Chamber of Commerce. And she wanted everybody to know that there's a list of resources for businesses on the Tri-County Chamber of Commerce website as well. And they are going to be providing support to members of the Tri-County Chamber of Commerce so that they can get themselves tapped in. And that information came from Danielle Roche, who is their basically their media officer. And they also, here's another thing, and there's just so much information. The community needs list. They do have a list at leadershiptricounty.org of things that they are looking for or things that are needed within the community. So that might be another resource for, like, for instance, Ray Amori, who's looking for gloves or looking for a way to donate gloves. You can go to leadershiptricounty.org and find the community needs list. Looks like Amy walked away. You're back.
Sorry, I was like, what's burning in the kitchen? I think that the project I'm going to tackle this afternoon is I need to clean my oven. I think that's happening.
And then, so there's some good stuff. If there's any more comments or any other questions we need to get to, now would probably be a good time.
Yep, I don't see any other comments. Thank you, everyone, for listening and for watching. And if you've got anything that you would like us to tackle, like, hey, can you guys talk about this? Just shoot Matt a message or shoot me a Facebook message, or get to us somehow. And if there's something that you think is interesting, or a tip that you have, or something that's helping you get through as we face another 30 days of this.
Was it 30 days or was it 2 more weeks? Now I'm confused.
So the end of April. April 30th. So that is with the news that came out of the White House yesterday. So,
Okay.
yeah, so we're going to be hunkered down for a while.
Well, that's another good segue. If you're hunkered down and you're a small business owner, we've just given you a whole bunch of stuff so that you can learn how to get assistance.
Yeah.
And from what I'm being told, it could be a little bit complicated. So you'll have some time to work on that.
Yeah, we started looking at it this morning. You will need your most recent tax, I guess the 2018 taxes, unless you filed already for 2019, but you will need some tax information for your business. So you'll have to scan that. There are apps you can use on your phone to take pictures and create a PDF. So that's available if you don't have a scanner at home.
I use a program. That's a good one. I use a program called Cam Scanner, which
Okay.
you can find in the App Store. It's a free program, although you can upgrade it with a subscription. But just the free Cam Scanner, which is available through App Store, or I don't know what Android. Do Androids have App Store? I don't know.
I have no
But
idea.
you can find it, and it is an app for both iPhones and Android.
Yeah,
that
Harrison's
will
been
turn
using
your
it
phone.
because he's had to scan his homework and upload it for his college classes. So there are a lot of programs out there. So just be aware that you need to put your hands on your tax information in order to apply for some of those loans. I did also see something on, I think it was on the SBA site, the small business site, about assistance if you are a 1099, if you're a contractor. So you're not an employee, so you don't really qualify for employment compensation. But if you're a contractor or contracted worker, there is assistance also available. I saw a link for that as well, so you can poke around and find out what's available to you.
And I looked up that specifically because I'm a 1099 employee. I'm an independent contractor, and there's a lot of rumors floating around on Facebook, people saying that they're 1099 employees and they can't get any assistance and there's nothing for them. That's not accurate. If you do a little bit of research, just like you said.
Maybe we can, I can poke around for that when we get off air and see if I can find the link for that. Can I give one more resource?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So I looked at, I wanted to see if the Tri-County Active Adult Center, which is the senior center, everyone knows it as the senior center, they are shut down right now, but they are referring folks to Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels is still delivering people food and meals to people that are shut in. So that's an important resource for a lot of folks. I'm assuming that some of those folks might not have access to the internet. So if you know of somebody that is shut in, an older person, maybe a neighbor or somebody that you know that you need to refer them to Meals on Wheels, they are still delivering meals to seniors and shut-ins. Their number is 610-323-5009. That's local Meals on Wheels.
That's good information too.
Yep.
The other thing that I do, I think I covered just about everything, but I did want to say to people, another resource that I found for business development, and this is just business development in general. If you have a little bit of extra time on your hands or you want to keep yourself occupied, the LaSalle Nonprofit Center offers free small business and nonprofit development webinars. And also personal development webinars. That's the LaSalle Nonprofit Center. And those webinars that they have posted up are free on a wide variety of topics related to business and nonprofit development.
All right, Bill Brogley says, the apps can be really complicated, especially if you're a partnership or an LLC. So hopefully you've got the time now on your hands that you can wade through those applications, which can be complicated. You might have to engage your accountant for help.
If I was, and I had this conversation just the other day, if I was a lawyer or if I was an accountant, I would be studying that stuff up and I would be getting to be an expert in that stuff. And then you could start maybe charging some consulting fees or helping companies or businesses out making their applications. If I had the wherewithal to do that, I think I would be doing it. But I'm neither of those things.
We'll just direct people to the sites and the information, and you can use your own brain power. And I'm sure that there are accountants that are working remotely. So if you have a business accountant that helps you out with your business stuff, hopefully you can access them remotely, and they can help guide you through what's the best option for you as a small business. And Ray Amori says, yes, Android has an app store. So thank you. For Android users, you can find that PDF creation, JPEG to PDF app in your app store on Android.
It's called Cam Scanner.
CAMSCAN.
Yep.
Cam Scan.
Yep, Cam Scanner. It's a great. I use it. I use it all the time when I'm out on the road doing real estate stuff, getting papers signed. I take it to closing, so they don't have to carry papers back and forth from closings. I can email out of there. I can convert from JPEG to PDF and back and forth. You can actually mark up documents on there.
Oh, nice.
You can create files and collate. It's a pretty handy app if you're not if you're out of the office with your normal technology support. The last thing that I wanted to say, I'll get this out of into the airwaves, so to speak, is that I did have some communication with Bill Vadiello from Victory Bank. Bill's a friend of both you and I, and has helped us out. He's the host of Tri-County Chambers podcast, which is called Chamber Chat. And Bill also works in business development at Victory Bank. That's his day job. Victory Bank is assisting their customers with loan restructuring and low interest loans. So if you're wondering about some of this stuff, or your business need help and you are a customer of Victory Bank, you can call them and ask them for assistance, because they are providing assistance to their current customers. He said they will be developing some things, and they're working on some things for the general public to consume once they're ready. But for right now, they're working with their current client and customer list.
Great. Thank you. Yep. Ask for Bill. He's a great guy. All right. Are we wrapping it up?
Unless somebody else has something they want to talk about, I only really have 2 more items of business that I kind of wanted to cover. Okay. And they're kind of personal to me, but I did want to put them out there because they do kind of relate to what we're doing here on Porchcast. So over the past couple of days, I have been noticing that Porchcast has been getting a lot of likes and a lot of interest from folks who are outside of the United States. And I'm looking at their profiles, and I'm seeing that these folks are coming from places like India, Pakistan, Nigeria, the United Arab Emirates, places in the Middle East. I don't have a problem with people who are looking for information coming to our page. I mean, that's what we're here for. Our focus really is on Pottstown and the surrounding area. But I also know that some of those countries have what I would say a propensity for housing scam artists and warehouses of scam artists. So Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate, my personal persona on Facebook, Rufus Jefferson, Amy Wolf, or Amy Wolf at Moving Forward, is never going to send you a link in a private message saying you to share information from a private message. We're never going to do that. We're never going to ask you to copy and paste anything from your private message to spread around on Facebook. That's not how we're operating. Right. People can contact us directly, and we will share that information. If somebody else is saying to you, hey, I'm friends with Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate, and his account got hacked, and he needs you to send this message out to your friends list to let everyone know that his face, don't do that. That is the scam. Right. That is the scam. So be careful. I know that there's some new watchers to Facebook, and there are some folks that fit into demographics that are more susceptible to being scammed. Amy Wolf and I are never going to ask you to do anything like that. We both know how to rebuild our contact lists should something happen or something go wrong. We're not going to ask you to do that. All we're asking you to do is to share information with us. And most of the people in the local community in Pottstown know how to get a hold of us off of Facebook. So if you have any concerns, contact us off of Facebook. The other thing too is I know that there are some people who are friends with me through the business world, and I've also given out my personal Facebook page name, which is Rufus Jefferson. When you go to Rufus Jefferson's Facebook page, which is my personal Facebook page, you are going to see a lot of political messages. I studied political science. I've been involved in politics since I was 18. You might not agree with my political stance on a lot of issues. However, we're going to keep Porchcast as bipartisan and non-political as we possibly can. So if you want to go over to Rufus Jefferson, please feel free, but you might see some things that you don't disagree with over there, or you disagree with over there, just to prepare yourself for that. Those are the things that I wanted to say. Little disclaimer there.
And if you want to see a lot of posts about hairy faces, that's what you're going to see on my feed. So all right. Well, thank you. This has been a long time coming with us figuring out how to do this split screen. So we're going to continue to refine it, and hopefully we can switch places so that Matt can be the host, because he's much better at this comment situation. Ray says, I have your number, Matt. I'll call you.
He does.
So thank you, everyone, for your patience while we got this figured out. Oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing over here. Yeah. So hopefully it'll be a little bit even more fine-tuned tomorrow when we're back at 11 a.m. tomorrow for Porchcast episode 10.
So the Porchcast, the daily Porchcast just got extended by our great leader, President Trump, today as well. So Amy and I have committed to shooting a Porchcast daily during the stay-at-home order. So now we have some more work ahead of us.
Yeah, I will continue to be the levity and the humorous portion of the show, and hopefully
I want to laugh too.
And we'll, like Matt said, we'll get some links up. He'll put the link up to that song that he was listening to, and we'll try to, in addition to providing some good information, we'll try to keep it light. I hope my glasses aren't too distracting for people. I literally can't see shit without them. So I know I look like Chuck Schumer with these glasses at the end of my nose, but this is how I gotta be. So all right, it is noon. So we'll sign off, right?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning into Porchcast. This has been Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate, and moving forward with Amy Wolf. This is our combined effort. We're calling Porchcast.
Yep.
News, events, and conversation.
Excellent. All right. See you tomorrow, everyone. Bye. All right. How do I turn this thing off? Okay. End meeting.